from station WDWL TV in Cleveland, broadcasting live from Studio C. We bring you the Grumpy Duo Show, starring the grumpy old man. Oh, that would be me. And the Grumpy Vulture. Take your bow. Oh, nice and graceful. Again, you've been practicing, huh? Yeah, now go back in your corner, okay? I'll make sure the camera sees you. Don't worry about it. Jeez. There, perfect. Everybody can see your ass. Well, friends, here we are again. And, pardon me, I need to make a little buzzing noise. Sorry. Like I explained yesterday, I have to disconnect the sound cord from the tablet to the microphone input. Because for some reason, once I play the intro, I get a low buzzing noise. I don't know if you can hear it. I can't, and it drives me crazy. So by unplugging the input, it eliminates that. We'll just set that out of the way. I had a completely different topic until the video I just watched. Oh, you talk about the old saying, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Well, this was a perfect example. It started out with a call to the sheriff's department in a certain county in Florida. The call was regarding a group of 6 individuals on bicycles that were riding through Lowe's parking lot, zigzagging between cars and banging on the side of the car to see who could set off an alarm. And they set off quite a few. As the sheriff's duel were coming up the entrance road to Lowe's parking lot, out come the 6 bikes because store security told them, hey, we just called the sheriff. They were going to make a quick getaway. Not quick enough. So the 2 deputies detained all 6. And he started to give them a bit of a lecture because this group had been wreaking havoc constantly. Matter of fact, out of the 6, the 1 deputy knew all 3 by name. So he informs them as to why he stopped them. And of course they were like, oh, we didn't, no, we're innocent. We didn't, no. So he tells all 6, have a seat. And they decided it would be a lot quicker just to cite all 6 for not wearing helmets. Because Florida law states any juvenile under the age of 15 must be wearing a bicycle helmet. Well, none of them had their helmets. So, right away, there were a couple. Oh, you gonna arrest us? He said, no. I'm not going to arrest you. But I'm going to cite all 6 of you for not wearing your helmets. And the second deputy started to obtain their information. And he informed them, anyone that gives me a false name or phone number, it's a felony. So you better give me your true name and home phone number and contact number for your parents. So, this one smartass asked, well, what are you going to do? He said, I'm giving all 6 of you citations for not wearing your helmets. Well, I'll tell you, holy shit, this 14-year-old starting, oh my God, he was spewing vulgarity after vulgarity. He sounded worse than some of them college kids yesterday. Oh my God. And he just kept ranting and raving, ranting. Well, finally, they got him to shut the fuck up. So he said, are you really going to give me a ticket? The officer said, yes. At which point, Mr. Loudmouth, vulgar guttermouth, says to the cop, well, if you give me another ticket, because he'd been cited previously, I'll just go home and off myself. Not using that word, but we have to watch what we say on Useless Tube. The officer said, what did you say? And he repeated it. Now, his other 5 buddies kept telling him, what'd you say that for? Shut up, you stupid ass, you know. At which point, the deputies put him in handcuffs. And they led him over to one of the police cruisers. And he says, why did you handcuff me? He said, well, we're going to Baker Act you. A Baker Act is a 72-hour psych hold in Florida. We're going to take you to the hospital. Well, the other deputy had already called all the parents. Well, Mr. Gutter Trash Mouth, his parents start to show up. Father arrives first. He comes running across the parking lot and gets in the deputy's face, and he's screaming at him, get my kid out of that car. You can't handcuff him. He's a minor. To which point, he started banging on the officer's chest with his finger. Well, they immediately took him to the ground and handcuffed him, which he was fighting. Oh, God. I didn't think those 2 officers were able to get the handcuffs on him. So he said, what are you arresting me for? And the officer said, battery on law enforcement and resisting arrest. So he gets put in the back of cruiser number 2. Now at this point, 2 more cruisers arrived. Because now the parents are arriving, they're all yelling and screaming. Then, Mr. Gutter Trash Mouth's mom arrives. As she's arriving, she sees her husband being placed in the back of the police cruiser, to which She comes running at 90 miles an hour, runs around the side of the back end of the car, and shoves one of the officers. Uh-oh! Next thing, Mom was face planted. And handcuffed. And she's screaming, "What are you handcuffing me for?" And he said, "Battery on law enforcement." Oh. Well, the other parents weren't too happy. But after the officers explained that it would have been easier just to cite them for no helmet than to go back and watch the video and arrest them for criminal damage. Even though they didn't do any damage to the car, beating on a car is considered criminal damage. So the rest of the parents calmed down. The kids were issued their citations, and off they went. Well, Mr. Gutter Trash Mouth was taken to the hospital and admitted for a 72-hour psych hold. Mommy and Daddy were booked into jail, where they had to sit until 9 o'clock the next morning for a bond hearing before a judge. The apple didn't fall far from the tree with that family. Nope. Like the title. Like parents, like son. Yeah. Oh, talk about two parents that had gutter mouths. Holy shit. I don't know which one was worse, Mom or Dad. But both of them were just spewing profanities. So we know where their darling little son got it from. Yep. But all three of them got arrested. I loved it. I decided I'll just use that as the topic of today's video instead of what I was going to, because it was more interesting. I have never seen a whole family get arrested within 15 minutes. Yeah. Those two parents thought that their little darling was a halo polisher. All you could hear from the back of the two police cruisers was, "You're always picking on my son, all the time. You can't do anything better but pick on my son." Well, it was determined, talking to the other five, that he's the ringleader. And of course, they were followers. And the one kid was on the JV football squad. And while he was being ticketed, his coach happened to stop and ask the officers, "What's the problem?" And the officers just said, "Riding without a helmet." And the coach said, right in front of the son's father, "If anybody should know better, it should be him. That's why we wear helmets in football. He should know riding a bike is more dangerous than football." Unfortunately, the father had to agree. But, yeah, Mr. Ringleader. And then, what made it even better? After spewing all the vulgarities, when he was placed in handcuffs, He bawled like a little 2-year-old. Oh my God, I never heard a kid whine and cry like he did. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, Mr. Macho turned into a sissy. And the good thing was, it was in front of his other 5 friends. So they know what kind of a tough guy he is. Oh. Yeah. As a matter of fact, the one parent pointed it out to his son. You're following him? Look at him. And he's sobbing away, crying his eyes out like a little baby. But before, oh, gutter mouth trash, holy shit. As a matter of fact, I think his friends were getting totally embarrassed that they even associated with him because they kind of moved away from him until he got the handcuffs and started to bawl his eyes out. Oh, it was hilarious. I don't think they will be riding with him much anymore once he gets out of the hospital, because now they've seen the true side. Because the one kid said, I've never seen him like that. He's crying like a little kid. Yes. So I tend to think it will be a group of 5 and a group of 1 from now on. And I think there'll be 5 kids wearing helmets from now on, because none of the parents were too happy with the citation, because it's like $100 plus court cost. Like the officer told the parents, if you're going to pay for this citation, I think you should make your sons work it off. I agreed. Yeah. And if they happen to have a part-time job somewhere, pony up the cash, boys. But yeah, Mr. Tough Guy, yeah, in front of his buddies, spewing all that trash from his mouth. And then when the handcuffs went on, we cried like a little baby. Oh, yeah, real tears, too. Holy shit, yeah. Crocodile tears. I think his 5 buddies probably all went home and then called one another and said, we ain't going to hang around with him anymore. Yeah. That was one of the most enjoyable videos I watched today. Watching mom and dad, also spewing vulgarities, both go to jail. And their son going to the hospital for 72 hours. What a wonderful, loving family. After seeing and hearing the parents, I could almost imagine what dinner conversation is like. Multiple cuss words. Yeah. Because the kid's got to pick it up from somewhere, and it's obvious the way his parents were. We know where he got it from. But you know what? After this is all over with, the parents are out of jail, fines are paid, kid gets out of the hospital, I don't believe anything will change, and I don't believe the kid learned a lesson. If anything, it probably just made him worse. because the way he looks at it, it's all the police, their fault that I had to go on a Baker hold. Yeah. They were only doing their job. Like the one officer tried to explain to Mommy Dearest. We cannot, because she kept saying, well, when we get out of jail, she thought that, they were going to go get booked in, get booked right out. Didn't work that way. They could just go check their son out of the hospital. As a matter of fact, Mommy kept saying, can I just release my son to his grandmother? The officer said no. We both heard what we heard twice. There is no way our job would permit us to release him after what he said, for fear he might do it. And then Mom said, does he have to stay the mandatory 72 hours? And the officer said, yes, he will. Mandatory 72 hours psych hold. I don't think that will teach the kid a lesson either. Because it's obvious, in plain English, his parents are assholes. And something tells me that Mom and Dad came from families that were like that. Because Mom isn't going to turn into that just being married. She had to come from a background like that. And so did Dad. What a match made in heaven. Oh. Yeah. Listening to the two of them, I don't know who cussed worse. I want to say on a scale, Mom was tipping it a little more than Dad. Oh my God, the stuff that came out of her mouth. Then I got to thinking, well, now we know why Darling's son is the way he is. And on top of it, he's an only child. So we know from day one he was probably spoiled fucking rotten, which just made him worse. The other kids were riding regular old bicycles. What is he riding? Oh, an e-bike. Yeah. He has an e-bike. And his buddies all have just regular pedal-them-yourself bicycles. So we know how spoiled Junior is. Oh, yeah, I could see him crying his eyes out. Oh, my God, I can't ride a pedal bike. No. Well, son, come on, let's go e-bike shopping, and we'll go buy you one. Yeah. I could almost guarantee that was the conversation at dinner. He sat there crying his eyes out. Oh, I can't ride that bike. It's hard on my legs. Well, what do you suggest, son? Well, Dad, they have e-bikes out now. What's an e-bike, son? It has an electric motor. I don't have to pedal. Well, then I think we'll go buy you one after dinner. I can almost guarantee that was the conversation. Because to me, just seeing the way the parents were, it's obvious. Whatever little Junior halo polisher wants, he gets. I bet you he's got the newest Xbox and the newest PlayStation and every game to go with him. Among other things. Probably has, an iPhone 16 Pro Max, where mommy and daddy still have, like iPhone SEs. We gotta give our little angel what he wants. I can almost bet whatever that little fucking brat wants, mommy and daddy just go right out and buy it. Not to mention the table conversation at dinner must consist of a lot of four-letter words. And probably from birth. It was probably the conversation while mom was changing a diaper. Jesus Christ, you fucking stink. Locked in the brainwaves. Yeah. Had to be that way. The kid didn't pick that up overnight. And I seem to think he knew more cuss words than mommy and daddy combined. Oh, the shit he was spewing at them officers. I could tell some of his friends were embarrassed. And they kept telling him, tone it down, there's no need for that. Did he? No. Until the handcuffs went on. And then came the waterworks. Like a little baby. Yeah, because he wasn't getting his way. He thought, oh, I'll just get a ticket and I'll ride off into the sunset. Not. Especially when you say not once, but twice, if I get a ticket, I'm just going to go home and off myself. Not using that word. We're being polite for YouTube. Yeah, twice. Matter of fact, the first time he said it, two of his friends said, "What are you saying? Shut up." And then the officer said, "What did you say?" Did you think that maybe he would say, "Oh, nothing"? No, he repeated it word for word for the officer. And then Mr. Tough Guy got the silver bracelets. And then he turned into a 2-year-old. Yeah. And then I loved it when Daddy started pounding on the officer's chest. Because that's battery on law enforcement. And then when they tried to handcuff him, oh, he was kicking and screaming. And so he got a resisting charge. And then I loved it when Mommy took that turn around the back end of the police cruiser and shoved that officer. Oh, did they give her a face plant? Oh, yes. Too bad it was in the grass. I would have loved to have seen it on the asphalt. Yeah, she just ended up with a little dirty face and dirty clothes. In the asphalt would have been better. Yeah, her nose would have been on the other side of her face. But she come full speed. And I'm surprised the officer didn't fall over. Boy, I give it to him for keeping his balance. But as soon as that happened, oh, Mommy got something she wasn't expecting. A face plant. And a set of silver bracelets to match her husband. Such a loving couple. What a wonderful household to grow up in. I can see a rap sheet about as long as my arm for that kid. Before he reaches 18, I'd almost guarantee it. Oh. I could just... I was sitting there going, oh, conversations at home must be interesting. Every other word a cuss word. Get in your goddamn bedroom and make your fucking bed. Kiss my ass, Mom. Yep, I can picture it. And you think Mom would reprimand him? No, because I bet you Mom's afraid of him. Would have to be. I can't see a 14-year-old acting like this without both parents being afraid of him. I would almost bet the vulture's feathers that he probably has hit his parents. And they're probably afraid of him. That's probably why they spoil him. Oh, yeah, I know. I'll hear about it in the morning. No, I'm not going to strip off your feathers. Jeez. Thinks I'm serious. Maybe I should pluck a few. Just kidding. I keep forgetting the damn zip ties. I have to make a note after the stream. Bring in vulture, nose, beak, zip ties. Then put them on and make him look like a vulture beetle like I did. And what would be neat, put them on, and then him be in the spotlight like he is. And you could really see them antennae. Oh, yes, I'm making fucking fun of you. Yeah, he's chattering back here. Yeah. Soon as the CEO comes in the morning, he'll be up there. But the one good thing, Studio C, if you notice, does not have a hotline. So I'll hang out here tomorrow. I did that kind of deliberately. No hotline, no. Only in Studio A. There will not be a hotline in Studio D, E, or F either. That's what we're going to name the backgrounds. This is Studio C, and then the 3 new backgrounds will be D, E, and F. Just to confuse the shit out of all my listeners. Same studio, just a different backdrop. But we can't call that Studio C. So we are getting 3 new studios. Well, 3 new backdrops. But I can call them whatever I want. Hopefully they'll be here soon. They probably order them by carrier pigeon. Buy them cheap. Ship them cheap. Who cares when they get here? It's not my money. See, if it was my money, I would have shipped them priority. Although who knows where they're coming from. Be my luck they're coming from like Antarctica or somewhere. Although I don't know if Antarctica makes backdrops. Their main export is probably ice and snow. I'll have to see what the total population of Antarctica is. Probably not more than 10 or 20. I think it's just a research facility up there. I don't think anybody really, lives there. Something for Grumpy to gargle tomorrow. Population of Antarctica. like I really care. But now I put my foot in my mouth, so now I have to check into it. Boy, I do some stupid shit. And I know if I don't, one of my subscribers will go, hey, Grumpy, you were supposed to tell us the population of Antarctica. Oh, I'll do it. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll start the stream with it just to make everybody happy. Okay, Duck? I know Duck probably knows. Right, Duck? Do you know the population? I should call him 30. 30. Do you know the population of... Oh. That's even better. I should have number 30 put the answer on my faceplant page. And we'll see if he knows his stuff. See, I know who number 30 is. I've known him for years. I know what his profession is. Oh. All right, 30. You're up now. I want to see the answer in my faceplant. Total population of Antarctica. And I'm not talking polar bears. Yeah, I'll get that answer. Population, people, 20. Polar bears, 50. I don't want polar bears. And not, I know, there's a research facility up there. No, that don't count. Those people come and go. I want to know if there's a true population. Putting number 30 on the spot here. Oh. I know what the answer's going to be. Fuck you, Grumpy. As I drive past his house, he'll be telling me I'm number 1. I drive past his house at least 3 times a week when I go to the store. I could take a different route. I just like to irritate him. Blow the siren as I go past. The air horn. All of his neighbors are like, who's getting arrested? And then they go over to 30's house and say, hey, tell your friend we're going to kick his ass. That's why I don't stop. I keep going. Okay, 30, remember, tomorrow, on my faceplant page, total population of Antarctica, minus polar bears. You should know that answer right off the top of your head. Too bad we don't have a chat. He could put it in the chat. Grumpy hasn't figured out how to do chat. I'm lucky I can get the stream running every day without a problem. Damn Studio A. I gotta get a voodoo witch doctor to come in here and cast a spell on the demon that's over there. Yeah, today I do a test. Damn echo. I switch microphones. Echo. I have no idea what's going on in that fucking studio. But there's some kind of demon over there that doesn't like me. Yeah, never a dull moment. See, I can't even pinpoint it to a microphone. because it happened with 2. And 1 was not an MXL. I give up. I don't know what's causing it. It's driving me crazy. Yeah, I put the on there. Crazy. Can't explain it. Nobody can explain it. It just comes and goes. One day it's there. 3-4 days, it's not. Then another day it's there. Sometimes I've gone a week. Then all of a sudden, there it is. Can't explain it. I even called Behringer. Luckily, they have a U.S. number. Although, I could test out my free long distance and call Germany, but they couldn't explain it. Nobody can explain it. If it happened constantly, we could explain it. No, it doesn't. Now and then. And then, digging through some of my acquired items, I found my original police laptop. Yeah, I have an old Panasonic Toughbook. It's Windows XP to tell you how old it is. It works, just not up to date. It weighs about 25 pounds. Yeah. Oh, Grumpy had one years ago. It worked like a charm. I even had it mounted in my Ford Explorer. Oh, it looked cool. I looked like a police cruiser. Had the roof lights, strobe lights in the grill, and a police computer sitting right in the middle of the console. And it worked. Now, Wi-Fi wasn't that good back in the day. I had an external antenna I had to stick on the roof. But it was cool. I could gargle while driving. And then I dropped it. And somewhere I screwed up the motherboard. It works. Here's the strange thing. Whatever broke in the motherboard will not allow me to use it just on battery. I have to plug it in to the charger. Well, what I had to end up doing was buying a converter for the car. Yeah, 12 volt to 110, like the F-150s have today. You can plug in your microwave, I had a converter box. I'll show it to you one day. Plugged in the cigarette lighter and then had an AC plug. Then I could plug the AC power unit to the laptop to keep it going. It will keep the battery charged, no problem. But as soon as I disconnect it, the laptop quits. It will not allow me to work off the battery. Probably some stupid little connection broke. But being Windows XP, not too up to date, and with it being broken, I can't update it. Otherwise, I'd put like Windows 11 in it. Oh, yeah. Speaking of Windows, Windows 10 has not been around that long. I get a notice first thing this morning from MicroHard that says, as of September 1, 2025, they will not support the security updates to Windows 10 anymore. Now, without the security update support, you can't update Gargle. Yeah. So, like with my other computers, when I was on Windows 7, Gargle wouldn't operate. So I had to update to 10. I no sooner update to 10, and a year from now, I'm going to have to update again. I don't want to update. But see, MicroHard had some deal evidently going hand in hand with Gargle and some other sites. As soon as they end their security updates, Gargle says, sorry, you have to update. And it appears that Windows, mainly MicroHard, is shortening the time span usage of Windows. Now, Windows 7, oh my God, we were able to use Windows 7 like fucking forever. Now, I know Windows 10 has been around for a while. But, you know, not all of us can afford to keep either updating or buying new fucking computers. But that's what they're forcing you into. Like with Apple. They force you to buy a new cell phone or a newer one because you don't get the updates to the iOS. Like friends of mine, they had iPhone SEs, I think. I think she said SE. Well, they got notification that they would no longer receive updates to the iOS, which in turn means they had to go out and buy newer iPhones. So I think they bought 12s, I think. I think that's what she said, 11s or 12s. Because they couldn't afford the new ones. You know, iPhone 16s, you know, $1,400. So, Apple is the same as MicroHard. They force you to spend money you don't fucking have. By eliminating your updates. Disgusting. Because like my friend said, there wasn't a damn thing wrong with their iPhones. But without the updates, you don't get the security of packages and everything that goes along with it. So you're forced to buy something else. But like they both told me, sooner or later, our iPhone 11s aren't going to be getting updates. Then you got to buy another one. I think once you buy something, it should be good forever. But no. Now, they could use the phone to make phone calls and send text messages. I mean, it wasn't totally kaput. But you want the security updates to keep the phone going. But no. You're forced to keep upgrading and spending money that you may not have. I just, this summer, I just updated all my computers to Windows 10 Pro. Come September next year, no more security updates. Shortly after, Gargle will say, sorry, you can't update your Gargle Crummy. You have to get a newer operating system. Well, I already know that Prism is not compatible with Windows 11. They tell you, write it. You can download it, but it'll have bugs in it because it's not compatible with 11. I got enough problems the way it is. So come September, what do I upgrade to? 12? 13? What's Windows going to call it? It surprised me when they went to XP. And then the really shitty version, Vista. Oh my God, that was the worst. Oh, you talk about a shithole version of Windows. Vista was the worst. I don't know what the people at Microhard were thinking when they wrote that version of Windows. Oh, it was horrendous. I remember a friend of mine had a Vista laptop. When he would get a notification, for an update to the system, it would take him a day to get it fully loaded. Because what you do is you upload and then you do a shutdown and restart. Well, then it would tell you, you still have an update. So you would upload the update, do a shutdown, restart. You would have another update. You couldn't do them all at once. Took you all day. Crappiest operating system Microhard ever came out with. And then to be told that there's bugs in 11, that some programs aren't 100% compatible. Yeah, I almost went to 11. I had my choice. My computer guy said, hey, either one, same price. I says, all right, let me think about it. Then I read the thing, the little notification in Prism that said, all parts of our system are not fully compatible with Windows 11. So I go to 10. 10, beautiful. Come September next year, and it'll just be a short time after that Gargle will decide, oh, sorry, you can't update Gargle Crummy. You need a new operating system. Planned obsolescence. Plain and simple. The worst one, talk about planned obsolescence. When you drive your brand new car off the lot, before your wheels hit the curb, your car is depreciated by 25 to 30%. Before you even get out of the dealership, as soon as you sign on the X, your car's depreciated. And at the price of cars today, holy fuck. I couldn't believe reading sticker prices on some of these cars. The worst one, my buddy retired from Chrysler after 33 years. Now, he gets a discount just like Ford and GM, so he didn't tell me, what he paid. But he ordered a Dodge Ram 1500 with every fucking option on it. Yeah, he just went down the option sheet. Yes, 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 yes. This truck has a better interior than some people's living rooms. Oh. Sticker price. Pickup truck. Now, back in the day, pickup truck was, hey, you threw shit in it, you got mud in it, you didn't give a fuck. Not today. Sticker price on his truck. $115,800. Yeah. I looked at that and I went, wait a minute. Am I looking at all the numbers right? Yeah. 115/830 or something. I said, you paid almost $116,000 for a truck? He said, well, I got my Chrysler discount. Couldn't have been that much. Yeah, I got another friend, retired from Ford, bought a Lincoln Navigator, the long one, extended wheelbase or whatever they call it. It has 30-way front seats with heat, cool, and massage. Yeah. These seats in this truck beat the fuck out of a lazy boy, I'll tell you that. $130,000. Of course, it had every option on it. I didn't pay that. Shit, I only paid $11,000 for my first house. I said, you're driving around in a 100 sticker. Drive. You don't live in it. You drive it to point A, and then point A to point B back to point A. You drive it. You don't live in it. That is insanity. You look at the average price, entry-level car, 32 grand, entry level. Back in the day, we called them strip outs. Unfucking real. I remember I paid like $1,300 for my first brand new car. Some of these cars, some of the accessories cost more than that. Oh yeah, this Lincoln Navigator's got like a 30-speaker stereo with subwoofers under each seat, so you can thump your ass while you're driving, while you're being massaged in your 30-way adjustable seat. I said, 30 ways? I wanted to play with it. 1, 2, 3, count them. He went, no, we're not going to fuck around. How can you get a 30-way adjustable seat? What is it, adjust each ass cheek different and each thigh different, each arm different? Be my luck, I would no sooner get that seat adjusted perfect, and then the battery go dead and the memory would go out of the seat. I'd have to do it all over again. That would be my luck. And a 30-speaker stereo. Oh, it even had speakers in the headrest. Everywhere. And a subwoofer under your ass. Oh, it was gorgeous inside. Oh, that Lincoln Navigator was laid out. But you drive it. It's a vehicle. And then they tell you off-road capabilities. I'd be afraid to drive that off-road. Of course, it ain't like a Jeep, or a Bronco. You don't go rock climbing with your Navigator. You might be able to drive through a muddy field, maybe. Oh, it had everything. Oh, but you drive it. You don't live in it. And to pay that kind of money? Unreal. I was in awe. I looked at that sticker and I was like, what? Are you kidding me? Then, same like my other friend. Well, I got my Ford discount. Well, I guarantee your Ford discount wasn't like 30 grand. Oh, the prices of cars today. Jesus. I keep my fingers crossed, both my 97s will continue running for quite a long time. Although that goddamn fuel system on that RAV4 of mine, Jesus, it's still driving me crazy. Now I got to get to the point where I'm going to have to crawl underneath and trace each fuel line all the way. Fuel pump, brand new, works like a charm. I know. I loosened the bolt on top of the one gas line and gasoline went everywhere. But am I getting fuel at the injectors? No. And when you call the dealer, they don't want to tell you nothing. Big secret. Well, we suggest you bring it into the dealership, sir. I said, did you hear me correctly? It's a 97 with 212,000 miles. I'm not bringing it into a dealership. The diagnostic fee will be more than what the car is worth. Just give me a hint how to fix it. Well, no, they won't tell you shit. You think I'm going to take a 1997 RAV4 to a dealership? Not in this lifetime. I'll figure it out sooner or later. But I can't understand how you can have fuel pressure at the back and nothing at the front. And I didn't run over anything, so I didn't pinch no fuel lines. Can't get fuel to the injectors. Like the demon in Studio A. I think the demon went from Studio A out to my RAV4. Hopefully it won't go to my Nissan. Oh, I'll be fucked for sure. Grumpy's luck. And with that, I am going to microwave the rest of yesterday's ham and 5 cheese quiche that I made myself. Yes, real men not only eat quiche, they make it. Yes. So with that, I will go microwave my quiche and think about the one I'm going to make tomorrow. Yeah. I have enough ingredients to make a second one. Maybe tomorrow we'll have like ham, 5 cheese, mushrooms, pepperoni. Maybe we'll go crazy. We'll see. But in the meantime, I'm going to have my ham and 5 cheese microwaved leftovers. And I will chat with you tomorrow. And before I sign off, number 30, in my face plant, I want the total population of Antarctica, minus the polar bears.